Hey, Regina, we are live. All
Hey,
right.
yes, we are.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, good morning, everybody. For us, it's a morning here. Regina's
Mm-hmm.
time is 8
Yes.
a.m.
It's 8:11 a.m. right now.
Oh
Oh, did
my
I
goodness,
freeze?
network. Yeah, but we just
Did
want
I
to thank
freeze?
God for giving us this opportunity. Is everything okay?
Yes. I think I
Yeah,
was
we
freezing for a minute.
Yeah, we just want to thank God for giving us this opportunity to come and talk to you today. We feel blessed. We feel privileged. We feel like God is here with us and God is ready to meet with somebody today. So if you're there following us on our pages, we just want to welcome you. If you could stay, that will be good. And if you're able to write on the comment section and say, hey, where you're streaming from. If now you join us live or even later, you can say pray and tell us where you're watching us from, and that will really be wonderful. So today we have a very interesting topic. It is about the 9 to 5 trap. I don't know how that name came about, a trap, but the question is it real security or just survival? Because sometimes my name is McKenna. I come from Kenya. I grew up knowing that yes, after my high school, after my undergraduate, all what I needed was a job. And that's how we are brought up. And therefore, for me, 9 to 5, oh, that's to me a bless. It's a huge blessing to me. But still, the most important question here is to ask, in case you are laid off today, are you able to survive for 1 or 2 years? Have you like saved enough for you to be able to say that, oh, I have saved this amount, I can survive for 10? Are you able to support the people that you love in case you're laid up today? So that's why we're asking, is it just a real security or just survival? And we are so happy that you've joined us today. Another thing that we really need to ask ourselves is about downsizing. Are you really prepared in case of all the issues coming up in your life and you're not able to work tomorrow? What's next for you? Are you really prepared for that? Is your paycheck to paycheck life able to take care of your bills? Are you able to have something savings for emergency? How is your life? Maybe you can also participate and tell us more in the comment section. But we felt that this is something that we can talk about because we are there. I know Regina has 2 days in a week that she's working. We are there, but maybe Regina, before we move to the questions, do you have something to say on our topic today?
Yeah, this is a very interesting topic because I know we grew up. I also, okay, let me first introduce myself and I'm trying to adjust my camera. So,
Okay, that's fine.
yes, so my name is Regina, for the sake of those people who don't know me, maybe McKenna's audience, and also some of my audience. And I am a mom of three teens, and then I'm a nurse. I work 2 days a week, as McKenna has said. She knows because we do these things together. And I'm also a business entrepreneur and a mentor. By the grace of God, I wear all these three hats, gracefully and proudly, because God has given me them at this time. So, our topic, as we say today, uh, is 9 to 5 a trap? Is it really a security or just survival? So, what I can say about it is, as I said, it's an interesting topic because after you grow up the whole life, especially for us who grew up in Africa. I grew up in Kenya. I moved here like 16 years ago. So basically, my most of my life I've been in Kenya, and there is that thing that was put in us from the time we were little, like uh, you work so hard, you go to school, you get a good job, and that was it. Like you get a good job, and so our mindset was set like I'm working to be employed. So and I know we're going to talk more about this, but for for me, I think I don't want to say it's a trap, but it's like our minds are fixated there. And that's how I feel about it. But I want to stop there until I want McKenna to let us know in step by step how we're going to go through this, because this topic can be very, very wide, depending on how we discuss it. And we want to get to your homes and your offices and talk about this and also have you participate. So you tell us, what do you think about 9 to 5? Because most of us, we are in 9 to 5, whether it's part-time like me or whether it's full-time, or like, because we know like this is the way of survival. But things are changing nowadays. So back to you, McKenna, for now.
All right, thank you so much. So let's move to our first question. It says, do you believe your job today would take care of you if you could not show up tomorrow? Why or why not? That's a very, 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 can I say sensitive in a way? Um, because sometimes we are raised in a culture, not only from Kenya, but even from here, where
Yes.
people really want to have their privacy. And one thing this business has taught us is to be honest and to share our stories, because sometimes we can't just be there and take anything for granted, because there is obviously something that pushed us to this business. And therefore, do you believe that if you're not working, maybe those 2 days, do you think you can? What would happen?
Well, I will answer these questions in two parts, mainly because right now I'm in a business, so I'm not just working 2 days. Because if you think about 9 to 5, because that's our main thing here, 9 to 5, as we said, we were brought up. I personally was brought up, my parents telling me, and if my siblings are watching this, they can bear me witness. My dad used to call us and tell us, the only thing that will save you is education so that you can have a good job. And then he used to go ahead and tell us, you're not, and this one mostly was coming from my mom. I cannot put it in Kikuyu because maybe if I put it, I have to interpret. My mom used to tell us, tini urathomera, urathoma, then ndio upate job mzuri. Like everything was attached to job. So that, or for those people who didn't understand, my mom used to tell us, you're not going to school for me. It's for you so that you get a good job in future and help yourself. So you see, these two people, that both my parents were focusing on a good job, but they never told me like go to school, work hard, have skills or experience, and then do your own business or be an employer. Because the other day I was watching somebody who was really challenging parents and asking, our parents helped us to have this mindset of go to school, work hard, have a good job. But nobody ever told us who is this who is going to employ you. If you're all going to look for a good job, who is going to be our employer? Like, do you get it? Like, if we are all looking in the whole class of 50 students or whatever number, we are all looking for a good job, and we are all growing up at the same time. So who is going to employ us? Or for the generation that is behind us, that they are also being told to be employed, who is going to employ us? So what I want to say is that mindset has made us to just work, and for me, look for a good job. And yes, even when I came to this country, I worked to get a good job. And I work as a nurse. I don't know if that is a good job. It's debatable. It depends on you guys. But uh, a lot of people think that registered nurse is a good job. So yes, I landed here and I worked hard. Switched from my banking job in Kenya because just good job, good job. So I'm like, I don't want to be a banker anymore. I want now to work in the hospital as a nurse because I hear they pay well. So, like even when you're going there, like beside being a server, like serving people, it's the money. And of course, I get it because we need money to do all these things. And that's why McKenna is asking if I don't have that 9 to 5, those 2 days that I work, would I be able to survive? At this point, I would say yes. But if you asked me that question 2 years ago, or yeah, 3 years ago, honestly, I would be so scared because I never thought about that. But now, if you ask me honestly, and this is from my heart, I will be fine because I have a plan B, which is slowly switching to be my plan A, because that's why I work 2 days a week. Think about it, like going to work 2 days. I go to work and people ask me, "Do you have another job? Like, how do you survive?" I have a business. So, and that's what is my plan B, which I now feel goosebump calling it plan B because I know tables are overturning.
Mhm.
So, my answer is yes, I would be able to survive. But for the sake of those people who are sitting full time 9 to 5, I was there too, not just 9 to 5, picking up extra shifts. And that time I thought like working and getting all the money and overtime will put me in a good place. But I never thought, it never occurred to me, like, what if I lose this job? Especially because it was the only source of income. And that can be so scary, especially if you're a parent and you have kids, or not even a parent. You can be the sole breadwinner for your people back in your country, or even here, because some people, support their families, and a lot of people are looking up to you. So that would have been scary. Thank God I wasn't asked until, when COVID hit and I saw how things went, and I was like, wow, people are losing jobs left and right, and some people are getting depression, which has affected them until today. So the answer is, for now, yes, I can survive, McKenna, because I think you're asking that question for me directly, right?
Yeah, somehow.
Okay.
Wow, wow. Thank you, Regina, for those point that you've pointed out. So for me, I work with the church. And you know what happened on to me on Saturday. And yesterday I was really struggling doing my services. And as you were talking, I was just thinking probably yesterday people would sympathize with me and say, "Hey, Pastor, you don't have to come when you're like this." Yeah, because that was the idea. But still, as you were talking, I was thinking, can that go for a month?
Hmm.
Or can they allow for you to stay home? Even if you're their pastor, they love you so much. Can they allow you to stay home for 1 or 6 or 7 weeks? Probably they would say, "Hey, we need another pastor.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need somebody who can give us services, even if they love you so much."
Yes.
And that's why for me, I would say, yeah, they can get somebody. And
Yeah.
what does that mean to me and my family? It means that, yeah, we have to look another way
Mm-hmm.
of survival. So I think the idea here is just to help people out there to say that, yes, you have that, you 9 to 5. You're
Yes.
blessed. That is really wonderful because we were able to start this business because of our 9 to 5. It
Yes.
financed us because we
Mm-hmm.
always tell people our business is an investment. So yeah, that is really important. But I'm so happy how you've answered it. So let's move to a second question. What is scary? Scary, yeah. Taking a risk on yourself or depending 100% on a paycheck that someone else controls. What would
Wow.
what would scare you most?
Well, From the question I'm reading, that's why you see my eyes looking down there. I'm reading this question and I'm like, from the way the question is put, we can all see that either way you can be scared, or either way it's a risk. Like, regardless of whether I decide to walk the path of doing my business, or depending on a paycheck completely 100%, they are both risks. You might not look at it like that, especially when, when people have very nice jobs and they are at the top on the list, in the company, they keep climbing the radar, and then they are at the top. Sometimes people forget that it's not their business, and they fully depend, they give their best, and they are loved by the employer until when something happens, when downsizing comes and the company cannot pay you and they cannot keep you. Even if you want to be kept, maybe they can just give you for you to decide, do you just want to stay and have no paycheck, or have your paycheck sliced off like halfway, or regardless of how much they love you so much, but if they cannot pay you, what are they going to do? So that is the risk of depending on 100%. Then on the other side, taking the path to do a business is also a risk, because you have to invest, you have to, to be your own boss. Doing a business that is, you are the CEO, like us here. Nobody wakes you up. Like now, I woke myself up. I'm not going to work. I'm on 8 days off.
Yes.
Yeah, because I take 8 days off normally. Like, I work for my shifts that are 2 days a week. They are squeezed together. So when I work for 4 days, like 2 days, 2 days off, 2 days, and then I take off for 8 days. So imagine those days I can decide to sleep and just wake up at midday and do nothing. But I am my own CEO. If I don't wake up to do my business, who is going to? So you have to be disciplined. And that's where I'm heading to. Taking a risk of doing a business is also a risk. But which one is scarier? That is the question, if that's how you pronounce that word. For me, the reason I'm on this path is because I cannot stand it, just thinking about, like, depending on job 100%. And then one day something happens, especially for me, I work as a nurse. And for those people who are in healthcare, you know that something so small can trigger you losing your job, or even being in court, God forbid, because we are dealing with people's lives, and a small mistake can cost somebody's life. And at that time, regardless of how genuine you are, that's when you know, like, you can find yourself in any place. Like, when I think, sometimes when I think of our jobs, of healthcare workers job, I'm like, we really risk our life. We are helping people, putting smiles on people's face and helping people feel better when they are sick. We see them when they're at their lowest, when they're so vulnerable, and they open up to us. And if and it feels good, especially to give back to the community. For me, at least, I know I feel good when I'm giving back, because sometimes even that paycheck does not match what you do, because when it's a service from the heart, nobody can pay you.
Mm.
So the paycheck is just like appreciation. But actually paying a nurse or a doctor or somebody who work with people and give them even part of their heart, nobody can pay you, just God can pay you. But imagine you are giving all your best, and then a mistake happens, because we are human, and we have seen all these cases involving healthcare workers, and they are sued by families and they lose their job, and beside losing their job, they find themselves in court and in jail. So I know I've gone beyond just what she asked, but that's a reality that happens
That's
in
okay.
healthcare.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I don't know about the other fields, but I believe they also have their share of risk. But in general, the risk of depending on a paycheck 100%. We all know this. We saw during COVID time. I don't even want to go deeper to another area. We saw, like, anybody who is watching and is of, like, at least who is watching and has a Facebook account at this time, they know about COVID. Maybe some years to come, we'll be telling kids, oh, there was this. But anybody at this time who can be able, who has a Facebook page and is watching, they know about COVID, and we saw what happened. Guys, I don't know what you think about. Like, did that hit you? Like, people lost job, depression hit. People died. Some people were not even died because of COVID. They were dying from depression, like aftermath. Like you find out, like for us healthcare workers, we never lost our jobs, but we were overwhelmed. We were put at risk, in the front line, because when people come, and that time they were discovering how are we going to deal with COVID. You are there in the front line, and we don't know, they are experimenting things. But thank God He protected us. Yes, we were paid well, massively. I can tell you, it was massive. You receive that paycheck and you're happy, but at the same time you're scared.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't lose my job, but the people who didn't lose their job, they had the burden to carry the whole family or community. So that paycheck, even if it was fat, it wasn't, because people lost their jobs. So, and that is was a wake up call for so many people, even to start a business. Some people started their online businesses during COVID time because they saw, oh, this is a very huge risk. I would rather risk building my business, because for people who were doing their online businesses at that time, they never lost it because the business continued. In fact, it was like put fire in it, because there was a lot more inquiries like, how can I do a business now? So it is scarier for me to depend on 100% on a paycheck, because anything can happen, and anything can happen can also apply to the job, because God holds our lives. But in terms of income, you don't have control of that paycheck. As much as
Mm.
you might think you have the control, you don't. Your employer can decide tomorrow you have no job, and it's not permanent, it's temporary. Regardless of whatever position you hold, it's temporary. So it's scarier for me, it's more risk to depend on a paycheck than to work on my business, because when I'm working on my business, I'm building my own business, something that I can pass on to my children, and that can grow bigger. Like, it's not limited by, I cannot cap my income like I can, like my check is capped by my employer. So I know that sorry, that was wide, but back to you, McKenna.
Wow, thank you so much. I think what you've talked about is very, very important because everything comes to you, whether you're depending on that paycheck. Sometimes you worry a lot. I remember when I just came here in this country as a student, and my student visa was about to expire, and I had already gotten um, a church to serve here. And I was just worried about, because the paycheck that I was getting from the school once I graduated, that one was gone. And therefore, I had to deal with me and my family. That was something else. And again, taking a risk on yourself is just like all the time you're worried.
Yes.
Yes, you're working, you're okay, you have your contract, but still sometimes the worry can be too much. But if you know you have something on the side, if you know you have your side hustle that is giving you, supplementing some income, I think somewhere you can be comfortable.
Yeah.
Because what we're saying here, we're not telling people, hey, 9 to 5 is not something to do. Hey, we need to do it. But when
Important.
you have something on the side, it helps you to know that, yeah, just in case of anything, my family, I'm not putting my family at risk. Yeah, something like that, which is really important. So these are just real issues that we're talking about. Oh my Jesus, I can't find my third question. Oh, how is that? Sometimes I like setting like when there are four, but I can't find my third question. Can you remember the question, Regina?
I don't know. Maybe it was about renting your time or something like that.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, something like that. Let me check. Sometimes you have, when you're putting things in the banner, you have to put something extra, and that really helps you to.
As McKenna look for that question, maybe I can highlight something that people usually think about doing our business. They tell us, I'm not a tech savvy. Now you can see who is not a tech savvy here. People who are in the business, people who are still in the business, we're still doing well. We are doing great in our businesses, but you don't have to be a tech savvy. You learn as you
Yeah, and
go.
sometimes
So
we run through mistakes.
so, like, you don't have to have it all together to get started with this business. That's the beauty of it, because nobody is judging you. Maybe some people might be there looking like, oh, they don't even know how to deal with the computers and all
Yeah.
that. But
Yeah.
that's not
So
the
our
point.
question here is I don't think let me try to type it a little bit.
You can just, maybe you can just ask it if you found it, and as you type it, we can be going because of.
Yeah, so the question here is, are you working for survival, or are you building for freedom?
Wow. Working for survival versus building for freedom. I'm in both areas. I'm an employee. I'm also a CEO of my own. So the answer can be yes on both. But of course, I'm gonna focus on. I know what you're asking. So, am I working for survival or am I building for? Can
For
you
freedom.
for freedom? Let me first start by saying it in general. When you're working in a job,
There you go.
oh, good. So when you have a job, and I want to also emphasize on what McKenna has said about importance of a job. If you have a job, I always tell people, be very, very thankful. Do not, gratitude is something that should never depart from your mouth. You know, if you have a job, when you're giving thanks for other things, that's something important to thank God for. Because imagine how many people out there, they are looking for a job, not just in our countries, but even in this country and in our, areas, places where we reside, these first world countries. There are still people without jobs, and for some reason, they can't find a job. Yet you have that job. Sometimes we despise our jobs. You say, oh, they are paying me peanuts. I don't know, blah, 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 all these things. But have you taken a moment to thank God for that job? Or even to appreciate your employee if it's somebody you can appreciate. So thank God for that job, because what I say, our jobs are the platforms. Like for me, if I did not have a job, I don't know how I could have started my business, which is going to replace my job eventually. So I am always thankful for my job, because my job is the platform, like where would I have gotten the capital, to invest into this business. So jobs are very, very important. But yes, because we already know now the truth, I don't want to put my mind all there like 100%, because when you have learned the truth, when you have known and you have known there is another way out, use that job to benefit yourself. So use it as a stepping stone, to move higher or to start your business. But be thankful for your job. So the thing is, when you're working in a job, you're in survival mode. And what I mean by that is, uh, most of people work for, like, they're paid in hourly. You know, that means if I call out and I don't go to work, nobody is going to pay me, or they are going to pay me with my PTO. And when my PTO is exhausted, then I will have no pay. So that is survival. Because I remember the first question McKenna asked, if my job was terminated, would I be able to still continue? And I said, yes, I would, because I know now, I'm very, very confident. As much as I'm not resigning now, I know that I'm not going to go on depression because of not having an income. But uh, the question here about survival, the survival mode here comes with a job. Even regardless of how much you're paid on, or whatever position you hold, that's a survival mode, because the income depends on your like employer. Like if you don't work, you don't get paid, and if your hours are cut off, your pay is goes down. So that is surviving. And then the survival is also because, like, if if your job cannot sustain you, like when you retire, when you retire, they give you retirement, that plan, but it's not the same amount you are getting. So that is the survival. Okay, let's come to building the freedom. So when you have a business, it might be hard to start a business, building a business, because it's not easy. Remember, we said it's also a risk. It's not hard, especially because when you're doing your own business, you're building it maybe alone or just with your family, and it can be very, very challenging. Because imagine sometimes when my business challenges me, I don't have anyone to cry to. If it's an employee, I can just say, oh, today I don't feel good, I'm not going to work, right? But if I say that in my business, like, who nobody is on top of me, like, it's my business. So I'm not gonna to just sit there and whine. You have to look for a solution. You're not depending on anyone to look for a solution for you, because it's your business that you're building. But remember, the word here is to build. You're building your business. So when you're building your business, that's a foundation you're building, not just for you, but for your family and for your future. And don't forget, we are getting to that golden age. And when you get there, it's going to be the opposite. Remember, when you're in the survival mode in a job, and for just for those people who really trust their jobs, sorry about that, but it's the truth. When you're there, what happens when you're in your golden age and you're not working? The pay goes down because you're not working, so you're just depending on the social security, right? But when you have built your business, it grows exponentially, because if you're just building, especially in the initial years, and it starts building itself, the business reaches a point it's just thriving. So that means when you're in your golden years, it's the opposite. Like, the blessings are overflowing because you put in work that you needed to put when you're building it. So, and that's why I would say confidently, I am building for freedom.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
That's really wonderful. Thank you, Regina, for bringing everything out for our viewers to hear that, because that's really important. For me, what maybe I can add before we finish is that you see, when you have your 9 to 5, yeah, as I have said, it might be a permanent job, but remember we've said in case something happens, nobody can really keep you there. But when you have you're building s- your business, that is for your freedom, because you are building an asset, yeah, that can outlast you. Like with our business here, we are creating a generational wealth. We are
Mhm.
building legacy for us and for our families. So there is a lot that comes with the freedom. It's not only for financial freedom. For me, I can say that since I started this business, I have seen God in so many ways. My mind is starting from my mindset, the way I put up things. I can also say that I've improved a lot in my giving my sermons and all that. All my life has changed because I am building my business for freedom, not only financial freedom. And therefore, for a job, I can say that I'm doing that for survival because it pays my bills, and I, I'm grateful to that. But yes, when you start your own business, you are building a great asset for you and for your family. So maybe one word, Regina, or two words before we finish this live. What can you say for somebody
Um,
who is watching us, or maybe will watch this later? What can you tell them?
okay, what I can tell those people who are going to watch this, it's, or maybe to ask them the same question you asked me. If your job is not there today, how do you have a plan B? How will you survive? Would your job hold you? Or for how long can it hold you? Because I know after there's those policies, after you lose your job for the first, I don't know how many days, you're gonna be paid in full and all this and all this. And this time I'm talking losing job is not because you have done something bad at work. It's because, God forbid, you're not able to work because your body is not feeling well, and you cannot work. So in that case, it's not that you have messed up. You're still doing good. They still love you so much, but they cannot keep you because they are keeping your position and paying you, and you're not working. So I want to ask you this question: if you're there and you know that your job cannot hold you until I don't know when, if you lose your job for that reason, do you have a plan on how you continue providing for your family, for yourself, for your kids? Do you have a plan for your golden age? I know you have a very nice job. I know it's good, it's well paying, it's so promising. You're the CEO, you can be hired as a CEO, but for somebody. So you're building somebody's legacy. But do you have a plan when that job ends? Because it's not permanent. Do you have a plan in place on how things will go? And again, nothing is permanent. Even our businesses can end, but there's control, that who has control of it. So yeah, that is a question I would ask. And if you don't have a plan, we are here to encourage you. You can join us. We are here. We are both mentors, business mentors, and we've both been here. I've been here a little over 2 years. McKenna maybe 2 years or less, I guess.
Oh, 18. I was counting this morning, 18 months.
Yeah. So
Tomorrow, today's Monday, Wednesday, I'll be 18 months.
yeah, so we've been here for not so long, because some people have been here for many years. But that is the beauty, that you can start anytime. And when you start does not determine how far you go. It is your effort and, of course, God's favor. So if you're there and you want to learn how we do this, you can join us. Our websites are right there in front of you. Just just register with your name and your email address, and this can also be your story. Confidently say that if I lose my job, I know that I'm not going to have depression. And also, it's a legacy that you'll be building. So you can reach us out, you can register, or you can even, DM us on the or comment. You can just put a comment, like more information in the comment section. So whichever way you want, but we are very much reachable. So yeah, and have a beautiful day.
Wow, wow, wow. Thank you so much, Regina. We just want to thank God for the people who were able to join us today. As always, we say this is your time. Just reflect on your life. And for me, I always say this is a wide door open for everybody. This is a great opportunity. For me, the only regret that I always have is that I wish I knew about this before. But again, as the Bible says, God's timing is the best. So this is your season. Just grab it. We're here ready to work with you. We have a wonderful global community that will
Yes.
just support you, work with you, and show how you can succeed in this business.
Mm.
Otherwise, thank you so much. I'll see you again tomorrow, maybe with another guest, not Regina, but still you can follow her on her page. I know she's also a busy lady there. So thank you so much for being with us. God bless you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye bye.